Okie dokie. So, it did say that I can't move a barricade into another space unless an effect explicitly allows it. So for Preston's turn, he's going to start by just running away, like that. And rather than move into the same space as a cultist and have to deal with a horror check against the cultist next turn, we're going to stop here for now, and we're going to search this space. So let's see what's back here. A desk sits against the wall, being used as an end table. It has several large drawers locked by a combination. You attempt to unlock the combination lock on the drawers. So we're going to attempt the puzzle using observation. Well, his observation is 3. He doesn't get the +1 from the magnifying glass because this isn't a test, I believe. So we've got 3 actions on this puzzle. So puzzles is a new thing. Let's look at how puzzles work. But I believe each action is like a guess. So So this is what type of puzzle? It's a code puzzle. So each code puzzle has 2 attributes: length and number, blah, 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 blah. As one puzzle step, he can guess the code. If the guess is correct, the puzzle is solved. If the guess is incorrect, I will receive information and then try again. Okay, so we're going to make a guess here. I'm guessing this guy's not very bright, and he made his combination 1, 2, 3. Alright, that is incorrect, but one of the numbers is in the correct space. So how about we'll try 5, 2, 4. That is incorrect, but one of the numbers is correct, just in the wrong space. So this is interesting. We've got at least a 5. We've got definitely no 2s. And the 1 or the 3 is in the right space. Oh, actually, we don't know if it's a 5. We've got at least a 5 or a 4, and probably 2 of that number, because there's 3 numbers total, and it said only one of them was correct here. So I guess it could also be possible there is a number in the correct space here and another of that number. So let's try 4, 4, 3. Let's go for that one. Hey, there we go. Very nice. Last guess. You figure out the combination and the drawers pop open with an audible click. Inside you find a grotesque statuette of an octopoid dragon, not Dagon, an octopoid dragon, and something else that might be of use. Gain the Elder Sign pendant common item, the grotesque stone unique item, and 1 clue. Very nice. We've got an Elder Sign, we've got a grotesque stone, and we've got a clue. So let's grab those. Alright, a grotesque stone. Oh, there's a lot of copies of this. Wow. It's unusual. Maybe it's going to be a quest-related thing. Thousands of years seem to be recorded in the statue's dim and greenish surface of unrecognizable stone. And then we also have an Elder Sign. Roll 1 additional die when evading a monster. And we get 1 clue for this. Very nice. Alright, that was a pretty good turn for Preston Fairmont. Alrighty, so let's continue. We still have William Yorick, and we have Agatha Crane. And let's have Yorick begin by searching bedroom northeast corner. A modest writing desk sits in the corner of the bedroom, holding a massive tome that almost covers the desk's entire surface. That seems like probably important. You pull a creaking wooden chair up to the desk and attempt to decipher the archaic scribblings on the tome's pages. We're rolling a lore check. Oh, no successes here. As you read, the very words seem to twist and change before your eyes, but you cannot make sense of them. That's okay. We'll try it again. We'll do another read through of these pages. He's probably not the one to be doing this, but haha, no successes again. Okay. So, same result. Alright, that was his whole turn, and then we have Agatha Crane, who would do much better at that, but she's got her own thing to explore first. A heavy chest sits in the corner near the bed. You notice scuff marks on the floor that indicate that it is regularly moved. You drag the chest across the wooden floor and hear an audible click. You look under the chest to see a small alcove in the floor holding a jumble of electrical wiring. You seem to have triggered something, and now you can hear a steady ticking from within. You attempt to rewire the device to stop the timer. Tap to attempt the puzzle using your observation. Her observation should be pretty high. It's 4. So she's got 4, and I've got to rewire this thing. I believe each of these moves is one puzzle step. So, oh, this is going to be easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's as many steps as she gets, but I believe I can use a clue to get an additional puzzle step. So, clues. Perform an equal number of additional puzzle steps. So, we're going to spend one clue. She has plenty. We're going to spend a clue here and do one more step because that's all we need to succeed. Puzzle has been completed. You deftly cut wires and twist others together to reroute power. As the ticking stops, you hear a click from the other side of the wall out in the hallway. Gain one clue, then discard the search token. Okay, so the clue I spent goes right back to me. And that was her first action. So this is done. And then her second action, she's going to move into this space here. Excellent. Good work, Agatha. All right, it is time for the mythos phase. William York absent-mindedly touches a hand to the wall and is overcome with visions of betrayal and bloodshed during the construction of this accursed building. He suffers 3 horror, and his observation, or his willpower +1 negates. Hello, Harvey. Alright. So, William York. Willpower is 4. He gets 5 dice. This should be easy. Wow, yes. Lots of successes. So he does not suffer any horror. The cultist moves up to 2 spaces to be in the space with as many investigators as possible. This is the first cultist. So it wants to be in a space with as many investigators as possible. And then it attacks each investigator in its space. It can move up to 2 spaces. It's not moving. It can't get into a same space with as many investigators as possible. But it can at least move. So it can move 1, 2 here, or 1, 2 there. It's closer here, so we're gonna go here. And there's no investigator within 2 spaces, so we will be saying no investigator within 2 spaces. So it just moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. I should have done that first. Then the other cultist, the special cultist, moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator, then attacks the investigator in his space who has suffered the least damage. Well, the nearest investigator is already in his space, so he's just going to attack Dexter Drake here. Rah! Okay. The cultist gazes into his eyes and flourishes a knife. For a brief moment, you feel as if your souls are linked. As the knife cuts into the cultist's flesh, you feel matching wounds tear open across your body. Suffer 3 face-down damage. Will -1 negates. Monster suffers 1 damage for each damage you suffered. So this is pretty good, actually. So Dexter's rolling 2 dice, and he can suffer some face-down damage, but the monster also suffers that much damage. Alright, he's negated none of it. So he's taking 3 damage, but the monster takes 3 damage. Alright, and this is all face down. Which is actually good, because my Flesh Ward spell will allow me to heal that damage. It's going to take a little while, but it'll let me do it. Each investigator resolves a horror check against the monster within range with the highest horror rating. Okay, so Mr. Fairmont is resolving a horror check against that cultist. The cultist's skin ripples and churns, caused by some worm-like creature flowing within him. Suffer 1 horror, willpower negates. His willpower is 3. Alright, yes, worms ain't all that scary. Come on, guys. And then the other cultist is going to do a horror check with Dexter Drake. The cultist snickers, and you realize... Ooh, snickers. And you realize you have stepped within a glyph etched onto the ground. It glows red as you study the symbols. Suffer 1 face-down damage and 1 face-down horror. Lore +1 negate. So I'm rolling 5 dice plus 1. I'm going to check in the rules and see if there's any rule that I can't roll 6 dice. But otherwise, I'll be rolling 6 dice. Okay, so there is no rule that I cannot roll 6 or more dice. So, in fact, it gives you instructions for how to roll more than 5 dice. So, we're going to roll 6 dice. This should be good. We've got 1 success so far. We get to roll an additional die. Alright, so 1 success. So suffer 1 face-down damage and 1 face-down horror. Lore +1 negates. I can use one of these to suffer 1 fewer. Let me see about this. Because I believe I would need 2 negates. Let's see, damage and horror. Alright. That doesn't really say. When an effect causes an investigator to suffer damage or horror, he claims the top card of the damage or horror deck respectively. And it doesn't say what happens, whether the damage and the horror can be negated from this test. It says suffer 1 face-down damage and 1 face-down horror. Lore +1 negates. I think I resolved this differently before, but at this time I'm thinking I could negate both of those. So I'm going to do that. We're going to spend 1 clue to negate the damage as well. I don't know why. Last time I thought it would be if you suffer the damage for sure, and then you can negate the horror. But this, I don't know. It sounds like I could negate both of the things. Otherwise, it might say suffer 1 face-down damage, period. Then suffer 1 face-down horror, lore +1 negates. Okay. Anyway, I believe that was the horror tests for everybody, so we're good. We're moving on. Alright. Very nice. Alright, so we want Yorick out of there, but let's start with Agatha Crane, and Agatha Crane is going to use the King James Bible as an action to discard 1 face-down horror from William Yorick. So he's discarding a face-down horror like that. And then she is going to check out this massive tome. So she's going to check out the massive tome as her action. Modest writing desk sits in the corner of the bedroom holding a massive tome. Alright, so she's using her lore, which is a 5. Should be plenty. Alright, she got 2 successes. That's fine. Although, I can use a lucky rabbit's foot to re-roll one. Might as well. Okay, still 2 successes. As you slowly piece together the script, it reveals the directions to some vile ritual meant to summon beings from realms beyond reality, as well as instructions on the magics to contain them. Gain the Arcane Manuscript common item. Arcane Manuscript. This seems interesting. It's just roll 1 additional die while resolving a lore check. That's not that interesting at all. And, wow, that was waste of time. That was worthless. Okay. Although, who knows, maybe if I had gotten a higher score on my roll, I might have seen a different result. We don't know. Alright, so, let's move Yorick out of there now, because he doesn't want to end his turn in the same space as another investigator. So he's going to go 1, 2, and then he's going to explore this room, because we already know that we disabled the lock on that door. A weathered door at the end of the hall is cracked open. You hear bizarre noises from the other side. As you open the door to the unfinished attic, the stairs and walls creak as if exhaling, why did I pronounce it like that? Exhaling a breath of dusty air. Everything in the room has been pushed to the sides, and a massive circle of runes has been carved into the floor. The attic tile. So this is a square tile. So let's look for something that looks like an attic. I thought that was an attic. Alright, there's basement. Ooh, a flea market. That's a really interesting looking one. The one thing you didn't really get in the original Mansions of Madness was like city spaces. Alright, here we go. This is the attic. And it is exactly like so. Alright. And then there's also an additional wall right here. On the far side of the attic, furniture and other random items have been pushed up against the wall. Among the items, you spot something useful. It's a sledgehammer. Very nice. Two robed figures stand across from each other over the ritual circle, chanting. The one nearest to you seems to be in some kind of trance and hardly acknowledges your approach. We're going to spawn a cultist. More and more cultists every day. Alright. So this is the Mr. Senor Green cultist. And he is over here with the sledgehammer, of course. The other figure lowers the hood of his robe and points at you with an ornate dagger. What are you doing on my property? You are meddling in things you do not understand, and you will die for it. Spawn a priest of Dagon, as indicated, and his name is William Vanderbilt. Oh no, William Vanderbilt, the same guy who owns the place. How weird. That's why they call it weird fiction. Alright. Get out of my house! I'm trying to worship the gods of the deep. William Vanderbilt begins chanting a heinous incantation that causes reality to warp and shift. A single massive creature of terrifying description slips through the fabric of reality and into our world. Oh no, that's really bad. It's a star spawn. Alright, we gotta grab the star spawns. I believe they're in here. Oh dear, this is where it gets really good. You guys, check out that baby. Ooh, not pretty. Alright, we got a star spawn. And how the heck am I going to spawn it in the same space as these other two guys? This is my biggest problem with these games. Meaning the Mansions of Madness games. These stupid square bases are ridiculous. Like, if this was a circular base, that would have been so much easier to fit there. But they just had to make the square bases pretty much just so that they could make it cross-compatible with the Arkham Horror and now Eldritch Horror. So you could slot your enemy tokens in here. It's ridiculous. Anyway, looks like he's having a good sneeze. The ritual circle on the ground is scattered with candles, skulls, and other trinkets. If you could get these ritual components, you could stop the cult's vile magics and have enough proof to condemn the Vanderbilt family. Alright. So there's an interact space right there. You may move one space into the explored area. I will. I will. Get it? I will. Yorick. Alright. That's William Yorick's turn. You must interrupt a ritual taking place before it is complete. Ooh, okay, so we're on a timer. Okay, so I did realize when I gained the Elder Sign Pendant, I could have flipped this face down, and then I can get rid of it next time. So, there's that. Alright, so, we need to stop the ritual. This is difficult because basically Preston Fairmont can go help killing the Star Spawn, which seems very difficult, or he can go help stop the ritual, which seems much more doable. Now, the Star Spawn by itself might kill Dexter Drake, which is a bad thing. So I might want to go help him kill it, but I don't think I'm going to kill it very quickly, and we got to stop this ritual. So I think what he's going to do... Oh, and I think I should have discarded this search token here. He's going to go 1, 2, and then he's going to go 1, 2, and he's going to end his turn in the same space with this cultist. And then we can work on killing the cultist and interrupting a ritual. Alright, so... what is this interact token? Yeah, basically I can interact with that space, but if I want to do it right now, I have to evade the cultist, or something like that. Alright, we're good. And then it is Dexter Drake's turn, and poor guy. He's going to cast Wither against this Star Spawn, try and get rid of it. So... he's attacking with a spell. You begin reciting the incantation. With each preceding syllable, some force in your mind wills you to stop. You do your best to push past the impulse. This is a will check. Difficulty of 2. This is going to be difficult. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to use my focus to turn this into a success. So we got 2 successes. I passed. If you pass, you complete the chant, power welling up from you and lashing out at this creature. The monster suffers damage equal to the spell's damage plus your result. Very good. Now let's see what I have to pay for that power. You shout as the spell leaves your body, barely managing to direct its wild power at another foe. Another monster within range suffers 2 damage. Very nice. So... the cultist suffers 2 damage, and he is now killed. That's very good. Alright, so this cultist is deaded. He's been deaded, and that means that William Yorick gets a clue. Come on, buddy, get a clue. Alright, and then I discard this card and gain another Wither spell. So, a new Wither spell. Like Reese Wither spell, I guess. And then I get focused again, because I gained a new spell. Hey, I'm pretty positive that's how that ability is intended to work. It's a little bit weird, the way that it's worded, but it seems like that was the intention. So we're going to attack it again with another spell. You close your eyes, clench your fists, and recite the blasphemous phrase. This is going to be good. I roll 5 dice. Okay, and we're going to... Well, no, let's not use our focus this time. We got 2 successes, that's good. If you pass, a whip of crackling black energy lashes out at the beast. The monster suffers damage equal to your test result plus 1. So he's going to suffer 3 more damage. Then we're going to flip this card and see what it is. For a moment, you see yourself in the face of your victim. Suffer 1 face-down horror. Okie dokie. That's okay. So we're going to take a face-down horror like that. And then we're going to shuffle this Wither spell back in. Reese Witherspell. Did I already make that joke? Keep thinking of it every time I see the card. Alright. So that was it. Unfortunately, we're done now. We gotta go into the Mythos phase and deal with consequences. Everywhere Agatha Crane looks, she sees the same thing. A child, her face bleeding, one finger pointing directly at her. Agatha Crane suffers 2 horror. Oh no, I can't even deal with that. Alright. Minor shock. No additional effect. And she's got another minor shock. That's good. Okay, so she's got 2 now face down horror. Vanderbilt moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Then it attacks the investigator in his space who has suffered the least damage. So he's going 1 space, because that's the nearest investigator. And he's going to attack Mr. Yorick. No, he's Mr. Preston Fairmont. Gosh darn it, Vanderbilt. A pale hand darts out from under Vanderbilt's cloak and grabs your neck. You claw at the ghoulish hand as it crushes your windpipe. Suffer 3 face-down damage. Brawn or strength negates. Alright, Mr. Fairmont, what's your strength? It's a 4. This ought to be good. Two successes. We only suffer 1 face-down damage, which means I do not get that additional bonus bad thing for suffering more than that. That's excellent. Very nice. The cultist, this is the original cultist, the OC, moves up to 2 spaces to be within range of as many investigators as possible. Then it attacks each investigator in range. So it can move into this room, or it's not going to be in range of anybody otherwise. So it's going 1, 2, and now it's going to attack Mr. Drake. The cultist mumbles a dark chant. You feel something writhing within your skin, opening old wounds. Suffer 1 face-down damage, then flip 1 damage face-up. So his strength -1 negates this damage. Okay. Strength is 3. Yes, we're going to use a clue to negate that damage. Okay, so then we have to flip random one of these face up. So let's see what that is. Back spasm. Pain flares up and down your back, and suddenly you cannot stand up straight. Drop 1 random item. Okay, good. So, his back spasm. Fortunately for him, he was not carrying anything, so that's fine. The cultist, this is the other cultist, the green one, moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Well, it's in the space with an investigator, so that's fine. It's going to attack. The cultist wraps grimy hands around your neck, squeezing tight. It's another strength check of 2. This is Preston again. Oh no, only 1 success. If you fail, the lack of oxygen causes your vision to swim, suffer 2 face-down damage, and become dazed. Okay. Nothing I could do about that. Suffering 2 face down damage. And he is now dazed. So let's see what the dazed effect is. Oop. Dazed. You cannot spend clues to convert dice results or as additional puzzle steps. Okie dokie. And now the really bad thing is going to happen, unfortunately. The Star Spawn. Attacks the investigator in space. Alright, let's do it. Star Spawn. The creature swings a massive limb in your direction. It's an agility test with a difficulty of 2. Yorick, your agility is only oh no, it's not Yorick, it's Drake. Your agility is only 3, you poor bastard. Let's see what it is. Come on. Okay. In this situation, I'm going to spend 1 clue token to turn one of these into a success. If you pass, you manage to slip from the creature's grasp and avoid the worst of its attentions. Flip 1 damage face up, then suffer 1 face down damage. Ooh, okay, so we're going to flip a damage randomly. Face up. Oh no, it's a blow to the head. Your vision swims with pulsing, painful light. Become dazed, then flip this card face down. So he's becoming dazed as well. And confused. So he can't use clues until the end of his next turn. Then it says suffer an additional face down damage. Alright. Very nice. And then each investigator must resolve a horror check against the monster within range. Alright. So with the highest horror rating. So that would be the Priest of Dagon for most of these guys. Okay, so Priest of Dagon is going to try and spook Preston Fairmont. Vanderbilt holds a sphere of dark crystal in one hand and reaches out. Oh no, not the dark crystal! And reaches out toward you with the other. And those guys were scary. What are they called? Like Skeksis? Something like that? This is a lore check. His lore is horrible. It's 2. And he's dazed, so he can't use any clues on this. He got 1 success. It is not enough. Recall the darkest deeds of your life. Things done to you and things done by you. Flip 2 horror face up and become dazed. So he's already dazed. What happens if I try to become dazed again? Well, let's find out. We're going to flip this horror face up, unfortunately. And then what happens if I am already dazed and I become dazed again? I'm sure this is covered in these rules. So let's look for status. No status. Huh, okay. I think it might be called a condition instead. Yeah, there we go. Cannot gain multiple copies of the same condition. Okay. I believe that means I'm exempt. So I'm safe. So all I really had to do was flip that horror face up, which is good. And then the priest is going to try and spook Yorick as well. Vanderbilt calls out to the stars, begging for your demise. Alright, so Yorick, you've got observation of 4, but you get -1 on this because of his hallucinations. Alright, we got 1 success. We can use a clue to make it 2 successes. If you pass, you realize the words are hollow. Hey, Luna. Good dog. Good crate. This is such a good dog. And then we have the Star Spawn is going to attempt to spook Dexter Drake. Ha, he's a magician. He's seen it all. Just being near the creature warps your senses, and you feel a pressure in your skull as though you are deep underwater. This is a will check. I need 3. I'm dazed. I'm not going to pass it, I'm sure. Oh, I need 2. I'm rolling 3 dice. Nope. I can't use a clue because I'm dazed. If you fail, your mind is suddenly gripped with a blind panic and suffer 3 horror. 3 horror. My goodness. Okay, so he's already got 4. He's taken 3 more. This is gonna suck. Alright, so I've drawn my 3 horror. Claustrophobia. It is too close in here, too tight. You cannot breathe. You must get to open air. Whenever you end your turn within range of 2 or fewer spaces, suffer 1 face down horror. Interesting. Within range of 2 or fewer spaces. I guess that means in a room with 2 or fewer spaces. Pretty much. The absolute terror. The only thing louder than your pounding heart is your desperate, ragged breathing. Suffer 1 additional face down horror. Come on. Oh dear, this is bad. Because something really bad is about to happen. Disoriented. Your wits desert you, leaving you mumbling and uncertain. How could what you've just seen be real? Become dazed. Too late. And flip this card face down. And then I suffer 1 additional face down horror, which brings my total, if I'm not mistaken, up to 8, which is pretty bad because I believe he's just gone insane. I don't know if it needs to exceed that value or just meet it. So let's looking at damage and horror. Alright, when a investigator has suffered horror face up or face down equal to exceeding his sanity, yep, he's insane now. Discard all face down horror, gain an insane condition. And then and then we're going to see what that is. Now, this could cause the game to become suddenly a battle, really, between him and all the other players. So we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's still good on this. So we're going to discard all of these back into the deck, and we're going to get a random insane condition. And only Dexter can look at the back of this card. But I'll let you look too. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's see what he got. Pyromania. Alright, this is for 3+ investigators, so that's good for us. Fire keeps you warm, and it keeps away the darkness. The only way you'll be safe is if you light as many beautiful, beautiful fires as you can. You do not win the game as normal. At the start of your turn, if 6 or more rooms contain fire, you immediately win the game, and the game ends. The game ends for any other reason, you lose the game. Okay, so unfortunately Dexter Drake is now insane, and he's gonna have to start lighting fires. Oh dear. Fire keeps him warm. Okie dokie. That was it, though. That was the end of that phase. So we're moving on to the investigator phase. And we might be able to end the game, depending on what this interact token does. So let's see. If we can disrupt this ritual by interacting, we're going to need to evade, I believe, 2 monsters. But it might just be the one with the highest awareness rating. So evade, you must evade only the monster in a space with the highest awareness, the green value in the top right corner. So that is still the Priest of Dagon. So Preston is going to try to evade the Priest of Dagon. Well, actually, first we need to do this. So we're going to evade the priest. And he gets a 1 additional die to this evade check because of his Elder Sign pendant. Vanderbilt waits until your attention is diverted and tries to stab you with a knife. Come on. Suffer 2 damage. Observation -1 negates. So observation is 3. Rolling +1 because of a magnifying glass. And then +1 because of the Elder Sign pendant. So that is 4. Alright, I can't use my clue because I'm dazed. So I suffer 1 damage. And let's see what it is. Lightheaded. Your vision swims. You worry that you are hurt much worse than it appears. Flip 1 horror face up, then flip this card face down. Okay, that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's still good. So, I've now evaded the monster, and I can interact with this. A ritual circle is carved into the ground and scattered with components. You attempt to retrieve the ritual components, but a malign energy protects them. Let's see. Using your gut and scraps of knowledge you have gathered, you attempt to remove the items without triggering the defensive magic. You may discard any number of evidence to convert an equal number of those dice, the magnifying glass, into successes. So my lore, unfortunately, is only 2. He's not the guy to be doing this. Well, let's see. Nope, no successes. You remove several items successfully, but you trip up, causing the magic to lash out at you and burn your skin. Suffer 1 face-down damage. Oh, no. So his damage is getting up there. He's definitely not the guy to be doing this. So he's going to use his other action to cut into the priest with a knife. You spring forward with a flurry of quick thrusts, probing for an opening. This is an agility test, 4 dice. We're going to use our focused status to turn all of these into successes, so that's 3 successes. If you pass, your blade pierces the enemy's flesh. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result. That was 3 plus 1, so he's taken 4 damage. Okay, and that was his entire turn. Very good, sir. Very good. I'm feeling like Agatha needs to get over there. So Agatha Crane's going to head over. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And unfortunately, that's her entire turn. Yorick is going to... Let's see, how's his lore? His lore is decent, but not great. Oh, we gotta disrupt this ritual, though. And I think maybe Yorick is just gonna attack Vanderbilt. So we're gonna attack Vanderbilt. Maybe that's gonna disrupt the ritual. Alright, he attempts to dart past you, and you bring your weapon up in your enemy's way. It's an observation test. Oh, no. Observation, that's 4. That's pretty good. Oh, -1 because of my hallucinations. Oh, no. This is a failure. You do not account well enough for your enemy's movements, and your attack misses. That's okay. We're going to swing again. A swing and a miss. You duck low and sweep your weapon toward your enemy's legs. That is 4. Excellent. We're going to use a clue to make that an additional success. So now we've got 3 successes. If you pass, the figure stumbles backwards to regain his footing. He suffers damage equal to my test result, which is 3 plus 1. So he's taken 4 more damage. Unfortunately, he's not quite dead yet. Oh, you know what? I had to move in order to do that. So I actually couldn't have attacked twice. Oh dear, okay. So, actually, take that clue back and that damage back. We had to move first. And then, my kleptomania causes me to take an item at random from another investigator in my space. So, unfortunately, let's take an item at random from Agatha Crane. And you can take any one of these. Doesn't matter. Alright, so we've got the Arcane Manuscript from Agatha. Ooh, that's something we could have used on this turn. It's Dexter Drake's turn. Oh, buddy, what are you gonna do? Alright, well, he is now insane. He wants to light fires. Might as well let him. Oh, and he lost the dazed condition. Now, what would lighting a fire do for me? Set fire. Page 16. You can perform this action only if you have a light source. Well, I don't have a light source, so I can't set fire anyway. Alright, so we're good. So, this claustrophobia, whenever you end your turn within range of 2 or fewer spaces, suffer 1 face-down horror. I am in range of 2 or fewer spaces, but that's not important right now. What happened to my Wither spell? I don't think I gained a new one. Alright, we're going to cast Wither against the Starspawn. Your eyes open wide as eldritch energy surges through you. You struggle to harness the power. This is observation, which is 3. I need 2 successes. I got him. Very good. If you pass, the energy coalesces in your hands. You may unleash it toward your foe. The monster suffers damage equal to the spell's damage plus your test result. That's 4 more damage. Then we flip the Wither spell. For a moment, you see yourself in the... oh, no. In the face of your victim, suffer 1 face-down horror. Gosh. Okay, so we're gaining another Wither spell. Reese Wither spell. Did I make that joke already? Haha. Okay. And we're going to cast it again. Alien words and symbols flash through your mind. You try to make sense of them. This is a lore check, which is 5 dice. And I'm going to use my focus. Let's see, would I get additional damage? Yeah. So I'm going to use my focus to do additional damage. We got 4 successes. If you pass, you decipher the arcane meaning and dark energy pours out from you. The monster suffers damage equal to your test result. So he's taken another 4 damage. He's dead. Excellent. The Starspawn has been killed. That is amazing. I did not expect that to happen. But, I mean, do you believe in magic? You gotta. When you see that kind of stuff. Then we're going to flip this card. You shout as the spell leaves your body, barely managing to direct its wild power at another foe. Excellent. So this cultist is taking 2 damage. And then we discard this. We gain another Wither spell. Reese Wither spell. Did I make that joke already? And we're going to get focused again. We're pumped up. That's what we are. Okay. That was Dexter's turn. Now, unfortunately, that is it. We're going to have to deal with the consequences now. Oh, and also he is claustrophobic, so he gets another face-down horror. Unfortunately, now we have to deal with the consequences. All right, so let's get into the mythos phase.